Killers of the Flower Moon is directed by Martin Scorsese. I am a Native American, and I've got my thoughts about this movie. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, and the synopsis reads, members of the Osage tribe in the United States are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s, sparking a major FBI investigation involving J. Edgar Hoover. You're bringing up J. Edgar Hoover's name here, and I think he's only mentioned once in the movie. Guys, this is what you need to know straight up off the bat. If you are a Martin Scorsese fan, then you probably will end up liking this, regardless of what anybody says about this. The movie is long, and you've heard that by people countless times now. It's 3 hours and 26 minutes. When all the trailers are said and done, you're going to be in the theater for about 3 hours and 45 minutes. Do you feel that runtime? Yes, you do. I checked my watch a couple times. If you get up and refill your popcorn or your drink halfway through, you're not going to lose that much. My advice, my straight out of the theater reaction to this was that this is going to be streaming on, what was it, Apple TV Plus or something in a couple weeks. Wait for it there. It's not one of Scorsese's better films. But James, you just didn't understand it. You don't understand Scorsese. It's like, as I said, if you are a Scorsese fan and you're going to like it regardless of what anybody says. So if you are here to bash criticism, then this may not be the review for you. Standouts are the acting. Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone are good. Everybody seems to be praising Lily Gladstone. And she's good. There she is right there. She's good. But is there a scene in it that makes me go, well, that's Oscar worthy? Is there a scene in it from Leo? Or Robert De Niro, I could say yes, he had a couple of scenes in there where it was worthwhile. Jessie Plemons, this is what it was the cast around the main cast that was really good, like Jessie Plemons coming in as the FBI guy. He had like a reserved quality about him, but he was smart, and he conveyed that he was being smart and perceptive about all of, like, you're really lying to me while you're getting the shave here, aren't you? You're just straw-manning me here, right? And there's something about Jessie Plemons that he was able to pull that off. I said costuming was good in this. It had all the ingredients of what people describe as an epic movie. But I'm kind of like, is it one of the better movies of the year? I saw somebody trying to compare this to Oppenheimer. No. When you come out of Oppenheimer, you are just like, holy God. You guys, you got to go check this out. I know it's about nuclear fission or something like that, but Christopher Nolan really brings it home. You're not going to be that way about Martin Scorsese and Killers of the Flower Moon. Let's address a little bit of the elephant in the room here, that I, yes, am Native American myself, and the story is that the Osage tribe gets oil money, and then, like, obviously you know that Robert De Niro is there to undermine them and weasel the money out of them, so he gets people to marry the women, and then he kills off the women. So yeah, you would expect it to be dark. You do get to see us getting killed, but it doesn't leave you with that raw kind of like gross feeling that, say, perhaps you would get from like Wolf of Wall Street, or even like the grittiness of what There Will Be Blood was about. Like, you know, that hard, grittiness from it. It just, for me, it just wasn't there. It was, and then I've heard other people trying to articulate this too. Like, it didn't have that edge to it. Things happened. Obviously, you don't root for Leonardo DiCaprio in this. He's the bad guy, and everybody's saying that she's got a great performance in this. And I would say temper your expectations of this, because she doesn't really do that much, other than just kind of stand there at times. So the supporting cast, this guy here, who gets hired to do one of the killings, it has so much character, and as I said, it's the cast around the main cast that really stands out in this film. Did I hate this film? No. Did I like this film? Yes. I like this film. Is it one of the better films of the year? No, it is not. It's not an outstanding film. It's not even a great Scorsese film. That's the way I feel about it. And I know that will rub a lot of people the wrong way because it's Scorsese. You got to bend the knee, James. You got to bend the knee. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to. Let's start to fill in this score sheet here because, as I said, the acting in this, I already gave it for Lily Gladstone. There's your 1 point for Lily Gladstone. And Martin Scorsese did bring in the team of Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're good. They're good. But as I said, it's a supporting cast around everybody else that is fantastic. So I got to give full 2 points for acting. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. The story is an important story. Like people, like when you hear epic, oh, it's got to be an important story. You got to go and check this out because it's saying something dramatic. If you don't know anything about history, yes, we were killed and we still are not being treated all the greatest, especially when it comes to pipelines. It was an atrocity. As a Native American sitting in the theater watching it, it's kind of like, yeah, I know that. And was it conveyed in such a way that generated any sympathy for the situation? Do we want sympathy? But James, you're not Osage. Well, there's so few of us left that it's kind of like when we see other tribes and nations, we call them nations, sympathies go out, right? Acting was brought around. I'm trying to articulate the execution of the story here from the directing. Obviously, it's Scorsese, so somebody said it best. Even when Scorsese's the weakest, at his weakest, it's like the amateur's best. It was a competently made film. Technically, it was a technically well shot film, but there's elements with the story that really had some serious issues. And I'll try to describe this and articulate this right now. He'll show a quick cut of something, of a character, of a dead character, and you'll be like, "Wait a minute, who was that?" And then it'll cut back to something else, and it'll be like, "That's some weird editing." I needed to see clearly who that character was back there because I need to understand what's happening now. Oh, that's what's happening now. But it was so, and then it happens so many times in this movie where it's kind of like, I need to digest exactly what you just showed me instead of just with these quick cuts, right? Very, very distracting editing in this movie. And here's the other thing too. The third act. If you could even say that it has a normal 3-act structure, I don't think it does. You expect a big payoff. You expect to see people get their comeuppance, and things don't pay off. There's an artistic way that Scorsese tries to give you the information in the end as to what happens. But if you're expecting the good guys to capture the bad guys and bring down the hammer, then you're not going to, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, but you're not going to see that in this movie. And I guess that's sort of like the tragedy to it all. But you remember that line in Oppenheimer where it was kind of like breaking the fourth wall. It's like, was anybody going to tell the truth as to what happened here? You expected a moment like that in this movie, and you never really got that. You just kind of assumed that this was supposed to be like, well, a revelation that these people came in and did terrible things to the Osage, and they did. So if you expect justice, yeah, that's not what happens to it's not what happened to us, really. Um, was it a visceral, horrifying thing for me to watch? At times, murder is murder. Yes, it's a tough thing. But as I said, Jesse Plemons in here. Once he comes on screen, which it takes 2 hours plus minutes to get to him and hit that part of the storyline, um, uh, it's the execution of the story. Um, it didn't need to be this long. The movie suffers because of that length. And right now, I can't give much more points to directing or story. I may change that in a little bit. Cinematography and score are out of possible 1 point each. Cinematography, everything looked great. Everything looked fantastic. Was it mesmerizing cinematography? It served the movie. It's not like The Creator. The Creator had so many stunning visuals that you're just like, wow. Of course, if you put a big wide angle lens out in the prairie or in the meadow with flowers all around, it's going to look fantastic. That's standard. That's something that you see. As I said, the technical aspects of this film are competently done. Is it? It's just not. It's not wow. So I can't give cinematography that much more points. Score the. I saw this in the pseudo IMAX theater, so pseudo IMAX. I don't know why they call it IMAX. It's not an IMAX screen. It's the IMAX sound. The sound was good in that theater because it was an IMAX theater. But when most people are going to be watching this movie on their phone, are you going to really notice the soundtrack for this? I don't think so. I do not think so. So I'll stay at the 5 out of 10 for right now, but we'll talk about watchability factors, and we may bump it around just a bit when we conclude my review here. I really want to finish spitting out what I have to say about this movie, because this is the type of movie where, because it's Scorsese, people are going to be jumping on, oh, it's got to be Best Picture. Oh, it's got to be Best Actor. Oh, it's got to be Best Cinematography. It's got to be all this kind of stuff. And it's like, guys, whoa, easy now. Let's just take a break and step back. One criticism I saw this morning was that it was kind of like, well, it's Scorsese, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 viewings for you to fully grasp and understand the story. Well, if you say that, then by definition, it wasn't a very well executed story. But I appreciated it on the 5th viewing. Do you hear what you're saying? Do you understand what you're saying when you say that? Um, let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. Critics, 93%, 224 reviews. And this is also because it's Scorsese. A lot of critics are going to be coming out and not wanting to say what I'm saying here in this review about the quality of the story, about the execution of the story, about the editing style. They're probably not going to say that because there's going to be a consensus of, well, it's Scorsese, it's got to be Best Picture just because it's Scorsese. He's putting out a movie, it's automatically got to be Best Picture. And I'm here to say that it's not, guys. All right. Sorry to get a little bit heated there, but let's just see what people are saying here. It's okay to be different and to say different, have different opinions about movies. Detroit News says, nothing about Killers of the Flower Moon is small, yet for all its massiveness, its effect is grounded local, and that's a testament to its ability to crawl underneath your skin. Yeah, if you are new to understanding how um, the Western culture rolled over us, if you never knew that, then yeah, that learning that part for the first time, if you never knew that, um, would be devastating. I would understand that, but from my point of view, guys, it was nice to see them talk about blood percentages, about the bloodlines getting watered down and stuff. Um, that's topical for us. Losing language. The best thing for me that I got out of this was that because of all the murders and stuff, there's like funeral rites performed by their medicine man, holy man is what we. Um, and I was looking at him and I was like, um, yeah, that reminded me that there was knowledge that was handed down, uh, you know, through um, the culture. Like that information was handed down and gifted to the next person who was uh, found out. They're like, oh, that guy's look at what that guy's doing. We're going to teach him how to do all these rituals and stuff like that. And there was I appreciated seeing that stuff. Um, but as far as like making a statement politically and stuff, there's there's a point in this movie when they get to the trial part where you're like, oh, right, I forgot. Um, I forgot that John Lithgow and um, Brendan Fraser are in this movie. I forgot that all these stars are making their cameos in this movie, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, now we're going back to Hollywood, and it kind of undermines what Scorsese was trying to do by trying to bring uh, heist to the story. For me, it did. For me, it did. As I said, is it worth checking out? Yes, it's totally worth checking out. But let's see what some of the negative reviews are saying. See if I agree with what they're saying. Wall Street Journal, with its plotting story, its lambs versus wolves character, and its predictable beats. It is predictable as to exactly how it's going to go. It's just when you think that it's going to have its big payoffs, they fizzle out. Flower Moon plays like work of much less sophisticated filmmaker. He's talking about the story execution there, yeah. There's a difference between long and epic, although in movie terms, the two frequently get confused. Yes, they do. Long doesn't necessarily mean epic. Martin Scorsese Martin Scorsese delivers the former, but not the latter, with The Killers of the Flower Moon. It's not yeah, okay. Here's what I'll say about the length. I was worried that I would come out of this movie saying that this movie didn't earn the 3 hours and 26 minutes. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that kind of grotesque. This should not be 2 hours. This should never have been 3 hours. I don't feel that visceral reaction to it. Could this have been told in a shorter amount of time? Yes, because there's redundant things that happen in the storyline where we know that the women in the families get killed off. Do we have to go through that same cycle of Leonardo DiCaprio coming in? Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen to the wife. How many times does that happen in the movie? Okay, we get it as a story unfolding. As an audience, we understand that this is something that's going to happen. So you do it to us once. Okay, now you're doing it the second time, three times. Oh wait, how far are we into this movie? Oh, 2 hours already. Um, and then it's a bit like that. It's long. And as I said, guys, I didn't hate this movie. I liked this movie. I just didn't think that this was top quality material here. Um, as far as Leonardo DiCaprio too, some people said there's one scene in here where he learns about one of the deaths and he finally has a reaction to it. But it's kind of like you're just saying that because you're a parent that you don't. He's a bad dude. He's a bad man. Um, what do you expect? There's no scene in this. Let's say it like this. There's no scene in this like in Wolf of Wall Street, where he's like yelling into the microphone and going, "Wow, he's really going crazy here." That's good acting. There's no scene like that. He's just overall cumulatively put in a good performance, a solid performance of what this movie needed from him. There's nothing in here that makes me say that's best actor material. There's nothing in here that is like The Revenant, or even as I thought of throughout the entire movie. Where's the like? You just don't have that gritty, like Shutter Island version of Leo where you get to see like that range of stuff. It's just him talking like this and doing things like, oh my, oh, ooh, yeah, whatever. It's like epic. Epic, you think of like There Will Be Blood. You think of Casino. You think of Goodfellas. You think of Gladiator, Avatar. As much as you, it's a theatrical experience. You need to go see it because it is epic. Killers of the Flower Moon is not epic in my estimations. It's just a quality film that's out there. So let's try to wrap up my score sheet. Is it worth watching at least once? Yes, it is worth watching at least once. I It has a good premise. Yes, I don't think that you need to go to the theater to see this movie. It's not a. Uh, I don't think that you need to. I wait for streaming. That's what I would say. Now, because of the performances, because it's Scorsese, I would say it is worth a second look. Because of all the background characters. Um, does Scorsese try to do different things with this? Yes, he does. Especially the final act, the final 5 minutes. You'll be like, the final 5 minutes is so jarring. You're like, wait a minute, what the heck is happening here? Oh, now you're trying to be artistic. In the last 5 hours of this, 5 minutes of this 3.5 an hour film, at 3 hours and 25 minutes, you're trying to be artistic now. Okay. There's, as I said, there's the ingredients, and I'm going to be a little bit more generous to the directing here because of that. Not 1.3, James, 1.5, because I work in increments of 1.5. That's what I'll say. 7 out of 10 for Killers of the Flower Moon. That's the way that I am feeling about it. Is it one of the better movies of October? No, it's not. uh, it, Guys, I'll tell you this straight up. I've seen two movies that are better. Reptile on Netflix was a better movie with Benicio del Toro. Um, and I know people didn't like that one because that one was uh, a slow burn. That was a crime thriller. People didn't like that. But I thought about Reptile like a day and a half after I watched it because I thought about the performances from Benicio del Toro and Alicia Silverstone. I I I've, I've I thought about those performances. They were haunting to me. Did I feel that about Killers of the Flower Moon? Um, Robert De Niro was good in it, but it's like I've watched it. I'm done with it. I don't need to revisit it. Some live comments here are saying, um, so is Leonardo more of a supporting actor rather than a standout lead? No, he's the lead. Um, Scorsese needs to retire, Bifer says. No, he doesn't need. He's 80. He says he's still got a few more in him. It's this movie just, as I said, I liked this movie. It's just not his greatest work. It's softball. It's not as hard hitting as say Wolf of Wall Street. It's not. Leo lost his charisma. No, he still has his charisma. As I said, he brings in a solid performance of what this movie needed from him. Uh, finally, finally, Killer better the Flower Moon. I don't know. Finally, Killer. what you're trying to say there, Bifer. Um, Totally Killer is a better movie than Killers of the Flower Moon. And I know that what is it? Totally Killer. Yeah, that is a better movie. Um, I had I wanted to tell people that about that movie coming out because it was just like, wow, that was a great experience. Killers of the Flower Moon. If I'm going to try to be generous, maybe yes, maybe it will take a few go arounds for me to digest it, but I'm just I gotta call it as it is, 7 out of 10. Um, and as I said, the surrounding cast is the standout for me. People will say Lily Gladstone's got to be best actor, best actress. Okay, the cool, fine that she. I'll be fine, okay. But as I said, what? Okay, what scene are you gonna put for her? When she finds out that another one of her sisters are dead, that you don't really like or get to learn about her sisters all that much. So it's when you see her react to it, which they show in one of the trailers, when Leo's kind of like to her, and then she breaks down crying. I wanted to feel like her. I was hoping that Scorsese would have built my feelings so that when I see that scene, I'll feel like just like her that my guts are being ripped out. But you never feel in this movie that your guts are being ripped out. And there's a much more curious storyline going on in the background that they hint at with Robert De Niro's character being a Mason and how he's got responsibilities to the Masonry, the stonemasons and stuff like that. That kind of stuff, like the secret society that's behind everything, that's trying to control everything. There was a much more sinister angle there that they had introduced. There was that ingredient. It just didn't come around, and that's the director's. That falls on the director. That falls on Scorsese. I wanted to see like him maybe interact with another member of that council that would be like, you better get your affairs in order here. And then that's why he's coming down on um, Leo and stuff. And we see him coming down on Leo and stuff. But I just would have preferred to have seen something more uh, behind that. That's just maybe my minor little things. But as I said, Jesse Plemons in this was good. Um, so go see it because of Jesse Plemons. And I do want to give a shout out to one more character that does show up in this, played by Ty Mitchell. As I said, it's the surrounding cast. You'll find that these characters have much more on-screen charisma, where you're just like, I want to see more from that dude. I want to see more from him, and you do see a little bit more from him. So it's kind of like he was a standout in the film for me. Ty Mitchell. Who else? One of the investigators who joined Jesse Plemons' team. Tatanka Means, yeah. He stood out. Like the way that people are talking about Lily Gladstone standing out. No, when Tatanka comes on, you'll be like, "Who's that guy? I want to see more about him." He's one of the investigators, and it's just like cool. And Scorsese, that's why I bumped up the directing. He recognized that, and he gave them a little bit of time to showcase. So that's why I bumped up the directing on the score sheet. But can I squeeze out any more of? I can maybe give it to cinematography, and he would get 7.5. I can maybe do that. Right? Cinematography, 7.5. That's about the way that I feel, guys. Yeah. And I had to struggle to get to that 7.5. So that's the way I feel about the movie, guys. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you've went out and seen it, does it warrant seeing it in the theater? If you are a fellow Native American, what should you think about our representation? I'm curious about that as well. It's come. It's going to go. It's going to have to go through a ride of the gratuitous. It's Scorsese. It's awards worthy. It'll go through that cycle, and then in a couple of years, nobody's going to talk about it. All right, that's it. Um, Guys, if you like what you've seen, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. There are my other social media handles. I'm not going to talk about spoilers. There's really not anything spoilery to talk about this kind of thing. What else can you find here on the channel? Well, on top of my review there, we watched a full series of The Fall of House of Usher from episode 1 to episode 8. Great series. Great acting and great directing and execution of story right there from Mike Flanagan. Great series. Still thinking about it. We're watching episodes of Survivor and Hell's Kitchen, guys, on the channel Thursdays and Fridays. Come join us for that. We have lots of fun with that. And of course, as I said earlier, my review for Totally Killer is up on the channel. It's still, I think that's my #1 movie of October right now, guys. It still is. Reviews for Exorcist Believer and Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. And of course, we do movie news here 2 or 3 times a week, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Movies, movies, movies. And if that's your bag, come talk with us. And if you disagree with what I've said in this review, I want to hear from you too. All right. Hit that thumbs up. I'll see you next time. You're watching Mirror Domains. Yeah, it's going to be hard. This is the type of movie where I try to reiterate. I said I liked it. I liked it. Is it one of the better films of the year? No. It's not. Is he